everyone, hope you are all doing well and you're safe at home. So today I am going to do another poem for the 8th standard, that is The Little Busy Bee. Okay, so I am going to start this poem and it was written by Isaac Watts. So this poem has the 4 stanza as you can see over here. So each stanza has divided into 4 lines. Okay, each stanza has 4 lines. And how many stanzas are there? There are 4 stanzas. So each stanza has 4 lines. So for that you have to make for yourself. You have first thing to start the poem. You should know how many stanzas are there and each stanza how much line it has been divided. Okay, so the first stanza has been divided for the 4 lines and second as always 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here this is 8 and after 8 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 and then 13, 14, 15, 16. So there are the 16 lines in this The Little Busy Bee, and it was written by Isaac Watts. And then how many stanzas are there in this poem? There are 4 stanzas. Okay, then what we are going to learn from this poem? So as you all know, I discussed about the figures of speech, and figures of speech will help you to understand the poem easily. So in this poem we are going to see this thing, that is which figure of speech is used in the little busy bee. Okay, this is the first point. And the next, rhyming scheme. What are the rhyming schemes has been used in the poem? So here you may see AB. What does it means? So I am going to give you the example and then you can able to understand this word, that is rhyming scheme. And then next, what's the differences between metaphor and simile? So as you all know, these two are the figures of speech, right? So metaphor, what's the meaning of metaphor and what's the meaning of simile and what's the use I thought to do in this. Okay, so why did I choose these 2 figures of speech? So at the end of this poem you are going to understand these 3 things. Okay, so this is also important. These are important for you to understand the poem, and if you are aware with this, then you can easily rectify the poem and you can easily recite it and you can able to understand as well. Okay, so without any further delay, let's move on to the poem, that is The Little Busy Bee. So before starting this poem, I told you, I gave you the example, like I told you ki you should know ki each poem has categorized in which how many stanzas, and each stanza has how many lines does they have. Okay, that's the first point. And what's the second point? The second point is you should know ki which rhyme, like this poem, which figure of speech does this poem belongs to. Okay, each poem has one or 2 figures of speech. Okay, then the third point, rhyming scheme. You should know how to know rhyming scheme, what's the importance of the rhyming scheme. Okay, then the fourth, and this will be the first actually, but I mentioned here fourth. The fourth important thing is you should know the meaning of the heading. Okay, the meaning of the title. Why do you want to know that? So before starting this poem you should know the meaning. For example, if you want to watch a movie, before releasing of the movie there will be a trailer, right? So by seeing the trailer you get an idea, okay, this is all about the movie, right? You will get a little bit idea about this film. So like that only you should know the heading, meaning first of all, and then the director, that's Isaac Watts. Okay, the film, just like think this a Bahubali movie. Okay, so Bahubali is there. So if I told you ki have you watched the Bahubali movie, so everyone will say yes. Okay, so first only you have started by watching the movie? No, first you saw the trailer and then you know about the Isaac Watts, that is the director, and then you watch the movie, right? So here also the same thing. Okay, so now let's move on to the first stanza. So before that, let us know the importance of the Isaac Watts. So who was he and what he used to do? Okay, so now here is all about the Isaac Watts. So the Little Busy Bee, it was written by Isaac Watts. So here, when he was born in July 7, 1674. Okay, and he died in November 25th, 1748. Then he has mastered. So now first we learn about his life and death, and then his achievements, his like till where he studied. So he had mastered where in Latin. So he had mastered from the subjects like Latin, Greek, Hebrew and French. Okay, so then the first hymn, what's the meaning of hymn? Hymn in the sense those who used to read for the purpose of God. Okay, like bhajan. So for like that time, the first hymn book composed by him for children was Hore Lyrica. Okay, so this is the first hymn. So hymn in the sense for the honor of the God. Okay, so it's all about the God. So that's the meaning of hymn. Okay, then his popular hymns. So he was known for the hymns. So his popular hymns is "Oh God, help is in ages past." Okay, so here you can see "Oh God," so is always hymn. So hymn hai, so in the sense this is all about the God. And then the next is the Psalms of David, and then Jesus shall reign. Okay, so these are the important and popular hymns of Isaac Watts. So why does he written the Little Busy Bee? What is the background of the Little Busy Bee? Okay, so as we all know, Isaac Watts was he was popular for to write hymns. Okay, and then what's the main idea and what did he thought to write about this? Okay, here is the answer. The bee is always busy. So he thought he things and he tried to write about the Little Busy Bee. Why? The meaning, the main motto over here, the bee is always busy, right? If you have seen, the bee used to always busy. It builds the hive. So hive in the sense you have seen the honey, right? So the busy bee hive very skillfully and stored sweet honey in it. So if you have seen the chatta, like the honey, okay, near the trees, so you have seen that, right? So by seeing that, you feel like you should ask the question to yourself, like how skillfully that the honey bee stored the honey. Okay, like the bee, we too must be busy and always do useful work. Okay, so he took the example of the bee, the busy bee, and he tried to say to the human beings that you should also be busy. Okay, so if you have achieved something in your life, it's not like that ki you have secured in your life and you don't want to do anything. No, you have to work day and night, like how the busy bee used to do. Okay, these are all about the Little Busy Bee. So one by one we are going to learn in this poem. Okay, so now here let me recite this poem so that it will be easy for you. Okay, now here, how doth the little busy bee improves each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. How skillfully she builds her cell. How neatly she spread her wax and labors hard to store it with the sweet food she makes. In work of labor or of skill, I would be busy too. For Satan finds some mischiefs for idle hands to do. Next, in books or work or healthful, let my first year be passed, that I may give for every some good account at last. Okay, so I recite this poem. So one thing you have to remember, children, there is a lot of difference between prose and poem. Okay, so how you are reading the prose, it's not necessary you to read the poem like this only. Okay, if you are reading like that, then that will be wrong. Okay, so that's the fifth point you have to remember. Okay, the fourth points I narrated, and then the fifth point, that is you should not compare prose with poem. Okay, prose and poem is different. So now we'll move on. How doth the little busy bee improves each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. So what does the meaning? So here, how doth, so doth is a old English form, so the now that is does. In your textbook you have seen. So before explaining this, I need you to know the different words meaning. Okay, so if you are aware with the meanings, then it will be easy to you to understand it well. Okay, so let me show you the glossary words from your textbook. So here are the books that you have to know. Okay, so here you may see that is doth. Doth, I told you that it's an old form of does. Okay, then improve. Improve means make good use of. Shining, bright. Gather, collect. Cell, a small compartment in the hive. So you have seen the cells. Okay, small cells. Satan, evil spirit or king of devil. Okay, so evil spirit, everyone knows that. Mischief, injury or damage. Idle, like idle means doing nothing, like useless. Okay, so idle. So now we'll move on to the explaining part. Okay, I have to do the explanation for you. Okay, so the first stanza, what does it narrate? It says, let us learn about the little busy bee. Okay, so as you all know, I recite the poem, but again I'll recite you. The first point you have to fix in your mind, you should not recite the poem like how you used to read the prose. Okay, that's the important thing. Okay, carefully listen to this poem and carefully try to recite by yourself so that you can improve yourself. Okay. How doth the little busy bee improves each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. How skillfully she builds her cell, how neatly she spread her wax, and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. In work of labor or of skill I would be busy too, for Satan finds some mischief still for idle hands to do. In books or work or healthful play, let my first year be passed, that I may give for every day some good account at last. Okay, so what does we learn in this poem? So here we learn the differences, different tone you have to use. Okay, so don't recite the poem like how you used to read in the class. You should know you have to recite it very neatly. So now let me give you the explanation. Okay, so the first here, how doth the little busy bee improves each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. The poet wonders as how the little honey bee, okay, the little honey bee is so busy, how it becomes more energetic. Okay, so how it becomes more energetic and works even harder as the day goes by. Okay, day by day the honey bees used to improve herself. Okay, the honey bee here, the first stanza you have to learn about the energetic. Okay, so that is energetic. Okay, the first, if you know about the, like, you have to divide. For example, in the first stanza I divided about the energetic. So the first thing, energetic, and then next, and even hard worker. Okay, so what does this poem says about the energetic, hard worker, and even hard even works even harder as the day goes by. He also wonders, he in the sense Isaac Watts. Okay, so here you should not get confused about the gender. So the honeybee is always she. Okay, so here the poet is talking about the she, that is the honeybee. Okay, then he also wonders how it is able to gather honey all day long, moving from flower to flower. The first energetic, hard work, and he was wonder. Why does he wonder? So even he was wonders. Why does he wonders? He wonder ki how the little honeybee can able to move from able to move from flower to flower from the starting of the day. Okay, that's the main meaning of this first stanza. Okay, I hope you understood it, and you have to write these words so that if you saw these words you can able to understand the first stanza meaning. Okay, now we'll move on to the second stanza. So the second stanza, what does this stanza says? This stanza says, the poet tells us that the female honeybee, I told you, right? So here the she, in the poem only they have described about the she. So she in the sense, yes. So a female honeybee skillfully builds. What does she build? She builds her cell inside what? Inside the honeycomb. COMB. Okay, so here you have to write the first line, honey comb, COMB. So the honeycomb in the sense you have seen in the tree. Okay, on the tree there will be a honeycomb. And then the poet says, she neatly, how neatly she spread her, what does she spread? Neatly she spread what? She neatly spread wax. Okay, then makes honey from the nectar. Okay, the makes honey from the nectar and works hard to store it well. Okay, the honeybee works hard. Why does she work hard? She work hard to store her honey in the cell. She's so that she can store the wax in the cell. So for that reason she works hard. She doesn't care she doesn't care either she pass or fail, but also she work hard. Now we'll move on to the here. So here what in the second stanza, what you have to understand, never give up. So the never give up also, and she also work what? She work hard work. Here in this second stanza the poet trying to say about the hard work. Then the third stanza, what does the poet trying to say? That in the third stanza, being inspired by the busy bee. Okay, so in the third stanza the poet inspired from whom? So he inspired from the honey bee. Okay, so he inspired and he wants to be like it. He wants to be like it. It in the sense honeybee. Okay, the busy bee. Okay, so in work of labors or of skill, I would be busy too. So you have to implement this quality in yourself, children. Okay, so busy, the poet trying to say ki I want to be like honey bee. So he says that whenever he has to do some work or show his skill, okay, in the third stanza, okay, whenever the poet was busy and he want to show his skills, he will be busy doing it. Okay, he will be busy doing it. He doesn't care about the negative points. He used to busy by doing the works. For he feels that otherwise, so if you are not busy, if the poet is telling, if he was not busy in the skills, to build the new skills, to learn some new words, to know some new things, if he was not busy, then who will come? Your friend, that is Satan. So Satan will come, and what does he do? He will try to influence the person who is idle. So what's the meaning of idle? Idle in the sense I told you, right? So idle, like lazy person. Okay, those who are lazy person, for them idle. So idle hands to do. So here Satan will try to influence the person who is idle and make him to do something, what? Something good? No. Satan will try you to do the good? No. He will try you to do some mischievous work. And here it reflects the proverb. So here the proverb, idle mind is a devil workshop. So in this stanza, what does we learn? So we get to know about the proverb. Okay. So proverb, so like in the Hindi we'll say kahavat. Okay. So here the proverb from this stanza, what does we get? We get idle. Okay. Idle mind is a what? Is a devil's workshop. So like in Hindi used to say, right, khali dimag shaitan ka ghar. So like that only, idle mind is a devil's workshop. That's the proverb from this third stanza. Now we'll move on to the fourth stanza and the last stanza. In this stanza, what does the poet trying to say? The poet wants to spend his childhood days reading books, working and playing healthy games. He wants to be able to pass with flying colors in whatever he does, so that whenever he has to give an account, okay, give an account of what he has done, he will be able to give good report for all that he has done. Okay, so here what is there in, he is telling, see, I will try from today to read the books, to work hard, to play healthful games. Okay, healthful games, and let my first year be passed. So he is telling ki, okay, like I wasted my year. So you may be thinking, oh my god, last kash मैंने वो कर लिया होता, kash. Okay, so that he is telling, yes, I know कि I wasted my first year. Okay, the last year, always 2020 is going to be over. So you may be thinking, oh my god, in 2020 we doesn't have the school and we can able to learn so many things, but we didn't learn. So you will think by yourself, oh gosh, like if I can do that, if I can learn some new things, if I can learn some new words, it's okay. Don't think about that. The past is not going to come it again. Okay, 2020, you want 2020 to come it again? No, right? So let it be past. But now you have to focus. The poet is telling, don't think about the past. Think about today's news. That is, that I may give for every day. So that I may give for every day. So now, from today itself, you have to work hard. You have to learn so many new things so that in the future, you didn't regret of it. And then here is telling some good account of last. Account of last in the sense, there is a word, right? So there is a mythology that if we died, so you have, if we go and then you have to say whatever you did, good or bad, in front of God, right? So that he is telling, if I, like, past year I passed, okay, last year I passed by doing nothing, but this year, from today itself, I will work hard, I will learn some work, I will play healthful games, I will read the books, so that whenever I died and whenever I go in front of the God and he asks me what you did throughout your life, then I can able to give this and all. Okay, so this is interesting poem, right? So this is all about the little busy bee. Okay, this is all about the little busy bee. So now we'll move on. Okay, what's the rhyming scheme? So here I told you about the proverb. There's just like kahavat in Hindi. Okay, so the proverb over here, idle minds is a devil's workshop. Write this one over the third stanza so that you can able to remember it. Okay, and then here, like here the for last stanza, you can write by remembering for yourself. You can write beginning. Okay, begins. So you have to begins your life. So newly begins also you can write newly life or newly start, so that you can able to understand. Okay, this stanza is talking about this stanza is talking about the proverb, this stanza is talking about the hard work, this stanza is talking about what, this stanza is talking about some hard work and energetic of what, energetic of busy bee in the sense honeybee. So in this title, the little busy bee, so what is the meaning of little busy bee? Okay, there is a metaphor. Okay, so I'll go to the next so that I can able to understand you. So here, as I told you, which figure of speech is used? Okay, so figure of speech is used, that is personification. So personification, so what does the personification? Personification in the sense giving human quality to the non-living things, or giving human quality to those, like did you see ki honeybee used to dance, or honeybee used to do something, because that quality used to for the living things, right? So personification. And then alliteration. So here, not personification, in this poem the figure of speech used, that is alliteration. alliteration. Okay, alliteration. So what does the alliteration means? Alliteration means बड़ा चढ़ा के बोलना, ठीक है? So alliteration in the sense, for like I am feeling hungry so that I can eat horse. Okay, so I just tell like that. Okay, I will say I am feeling hungry so that I can eat horse. I am feeling hungry so that I can what? So that I can what? I can eat horse. So it's not possible to me to eat horse, but it's telling, exaggerating the sentence. So that's the meaning here also. Here also the Isaac Watts, it's narrating about the busy bee. Okay, the Isaac Watts is telling about the busy bee, and busy bee, okay, and he's exaggerating her work. And what does he is trying to say? She will do this, she will do that. Exactly, she will do it, but this you have to implement in your life as well. Okay, that's the figure of speech, and the figure of speech used in this poem, that is the little busy bee. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next, rhyming scheme. So rhyming scheme, how can you able to rectify which rhyming scheme is used in the poem? So from childhood you have learned one poem. What's that? Yes, twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are. Okay, so in the last you have seen star and how I wonder what you are. So here, what does it mean? It sounds similar, right? Star are. Okay, rhyming in the sense similar words. So that's the thing. Here also you have to find the same words. So here, how does the little busy bee? Okay, how does the little busy bee is there? And then improve each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. So here bee is there, and what's there? R is there. After that day, and then flower. So what you have to do? Yes, good. R plus flower. So here what you have to mention? You have to mention A. Why? Because in the first you have learned about the A. R flower. So that will be A. And then next, how skillfully she builds her cell, how neatly she spread her wax, and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. So here which the rhyming words you have to choose? Find the rhyming words here. Yes, wax and makes. Really? No. Here cell versus well. Okay, cell and well, what happened? That will be B, A, B. And then here we'll move. In work of the labor or of skill, I would be busy too. For Satan, find some mischief still for idle hands to do. So here what's the rhyming words you can able to see? Yes, that is skill still. Skill still will be again A. Okay. Then in books or work or healthful play, let my first year be passed, that I may give for every day some good account at last. So here the rhyming words. Yes, play and day. So play and day क्या हो जाएगा? B. Okay. So here we can able to see the rhyming words, that is A, B, A, B. So you understood the concept about the which figure of speech does it used, and then the rhyming scheme, And now the metaphor and simile. So what does the metaphor and simile means? So the easiest way I will tell you, she looks like an angel. Okay, she looks what? She looks how? She looks like an angel. So what you have to know, like here is there. So the presence of like and as, if in a sentence, if you have seen like and as, that will be simile. And for the metaphor, no like, no as. Agar if you have seen like versus as, that won't be a metaphor, only simile. Okay, you need an example. I'll give you the example for the metaphor. So the metaphor over here, the little busy bee. Okay, she is like a little busy bee. I will give you example here. She is like what? She is like a little busy bee. She's like a little busy bee, or you can say she is like a busy bee. Okay, little busy bee, or you can say I like to be a busy bee. Okay, you can say I like to be what? I like to be a little, sorry, not little, I like to be a busy bee. So here busy bee का मतलब ही क्या है? Hard work. Okay, hard work and always used to learn some new things. That's the meaning of busy bee, right? So here like, so like आ गया, तो what the meaning of it? Yes, simile. And what about the metaphor? So metaphor over here, you have to know कि like a busy bee will be a simile, and in the metaphor you should not use like and as. I want to be a busy bee. Okay, I wanna be a busy bee. Okay, then next example we have a look कि be like a busy bee or be like a bee, so it's up to you. So metaphor and simile we learn from this title, that is the little busy bee. I hope you understand this poem. Like I try to give you like extra knowledge about the figures of speech, rhyming scheme, and as well as which proverb does this poem use. Okay, so try to learn it and let me know in the comment section below either you understand it or not. Okay, till then take care, respect your parents. Thank you.